The Trump administration hit the ground running. They've issued something like 60 executive orders, another 20 or so memoranda, a sort of a big wave of presidential directives trying to shift the way the government works at its most fundamental level with regards to personnel, spending. On the one hand, right, Trump did promise this sort of reordering in his campaign. On the other hand, a lot of what he's done has frankly gone over the line in terms of the letter of the law. So we have this sense of chaos, really. We're not sure what of his actions are going to stick, what the courts might say, and of course what Congress might do. So far, Congress has been very acquiescent, but their role in the Constitution is to be much more resistant to presidential overreach. So that is something we're waiting to see.
We must keep in mind, of course, that President Trump was, in a previous life, a TV personality. So he understands the optics of looking powerful, I suppose. And so he signed these executive orders with much media around and many proclamations, of course. But several of these orders have now been blocked by federal judges. Let's take a look at them. The ban on birthright citizenship, a freeze on federal grants and loans, buyouts for federal employees. The federal judge has also barred the Elon Musk-led department from accessing Americans' personal data. There's also the blocking of the dismantling of U.S. aid. So there is a perception that President Trump seems to be getting things done, carrying out his campaign promises. But the legal system is pushing back.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, as I said, the president's orders in some cases pretty blatantly violated the law, or in the case of the birthright citizenship provision, the Constitution. Again, the courts are one mechanism that individuals who are affected have to push back here. And, the president, as you say, is very big on the showmanship. He'll hold up these executive orders. He started, in fact, at a rally, not even in the White House, when he started signing these orders on Inauguration Day. So there's certainly one aspect of this that involves just the proclamation that he is acting, right, to assure his base that he is a leader. And in a strange way, maybe the ultimate substantive results don't matter so much, right? He's taken credit in a number of press releases for having delivered on promises by simply issuing these orders in the first place.
Right.
But it's a much more complicated story than that.
So my question then is, if he wanted to enshrine his agenda, leave a legacy, shall we just say, why not then come up with a bill? Why not have a Republican-dominated Congress then debate this bill and then enshrine it and implement it as legislation?
Well, you're absolutely right there. Legislation is much longer lasting, more durable than executive action. Joe Biden is learning that right now as his orders are revoked on a daily basis. And of course, Biden did that to Trump when he came into office in 2021. I think that the issuing of so many orders is, in a way, an admission of weakness in that the Republican majorities in the Congress are quite slim, especially in the House. And indeed, the Speaker of the House has already started complaining that Democrats aren't helping him enough in passing a budget bill. That's not the kind of thing that a legislative leader, or for that matter, a president of a party would be complaining about if they were confident about their ability to hold their own coalition together. So there's been very little legislation offered so far, and a lot of executive action.
I want to address the issue of foreign policy as well. And, many of the proclamations, buying Greenland for one, may seem chaotic, may come out of the blue, sometimes even incredulous, like the recent, proclamation or suggestion that the U.S. might actually take over the Gaza Strip. But there does seem to be, I wonder, some sort of an underlying aim of streamlining perhaps an inefficient and bloated government in which policies have not taken effect or have not been successful in any way. Let's just take, for example, the Middle East crisis. Just saying or suggesting that the U.S. might take over the Gaza Strip may actually force the Arab Gulf states to come together and stop treating the crisis as a political football and perhaps actually address the core issues.
I think that's a very generous way to look at some of these announcements, to be honest. to be claiming that you're willing to take hostile action against a NATO ally with regards to Denmark and Greenland. He's talked apparently seriously about Canada being annexed by the United States. We've already seen pressure on Panama, and indeed in his inaugural address, threatening to retake the Panama Canal. The Gaza announcement has been met with only hostility, so far as I've seen, from Arab states in the Middle East. I mean, I certainly agree that for any president, acting is frustrating. The government's a big thing. It's hard to turn around an ocean liner. But I'm not sure these are actually helping. They're confusing our allies in a way that is not helpful to actually promoting American policy.